Hey, what is going on, YouTubers? It's your boy Jim coming at you again with another video. Before we get into the topic of discussion, folks, same disclaimer as always is I do swear a lot in my videos, I do cuss a lot in my videos, and there is times I talk about material that's inappropriate for children to hear. Okay? So please use good judgment on y'all's part as parents. If you don't like your children hearing that sort of language or hearing about that kind of content, feel free not to let them watch my videos. I'm fine with it. It's okay. But without further delay, let's get into the topic of discussion here. Now, as I've stated in a lot of my previous videos, I myself am a parent. Okay? And just like a lot of Americans and freaking people across the world. Okay. However, I have noticed a change in society of what's acceptable when it comes to regarding our children's education and safety and things like that. Some of it good, some of it bad. Okay, but I have noticed a change in what's acceptable when it comes to into our kids. Okay. Now my daughters are 5 and 10. One's in elementary school, one's in middle school, one's in kindergarten, one's in the 5th grade. Two totally different schooling environments, two totally different educational levels. But I have noticed a decreasing drive in schools and parents and society to expose our children to real life scenarios early on in life. Because it could be detrimental to their mental development. Fuck you. Okay? When my kids get old enough to be adults and move out and do their own fucking thing, I want them to know what the fucking real world is gonna be like and be prepared for it now. Okay? Seriously. And this has been brought on because I finally realized why children nowadays are turning into self-entitled little twats who think everyone in the world is supposed to kiss their ass and do what they want, when they want, how they want, just because they're the least amount of fucking stressed out. And that's because instead of teaching our children how to deal with this stress and how to move on with that stress and cope with that stress, we have to stop and let our children reset from that stress. We're not supposed to let them feel it. And I realized this because yesterday I was at a parent-teacher conference for my youngest daughter. Okay? Now, it wasn't anything the teacher said. The teacher had great reports about my daughter, as usual, because for some reason at school my children act like, little angels, and then when they get home they turn into demons. But I'm sure there's other parents out there who've experienced that same thing. Anyway, as I'm walking in the door, they've got this thing up that shows parents all the different features that they've got at the school. The library, the computer lab, this, that, and the other. One thing caught my eye, and I was reading about it. They have a, quote, reset room. It is a room that they send our children to if they start feeling stressed out or upset. Seriously? If our children are feeling stressed out from this school day or fucking upset because things are getting too hard for them in school. Instead of doing what teachers did back in my day and finding an educational way to teach the child, they now send them to this, quote, reset room to, quote, reset their stress, to reset themselves. What? Okay? Really? And again, it's because instead of teaching our children early in life on how to cope with these emotions and move on with these emotions, we're sheltering. They're now forcing us to shelter our kids from these emotions. Okay? And the problem with that is by teaching them now to shelter them from these emotions and not allowing them to experience these things early on in life and teach them how to cope with them early on in life, now you're making it to where when these children grow up, they're going to think that just because they're stressed out, they can walk away from their job. They can just walk away from their job and fucking, quote, reset themselves from the stress. No, you can't fucking do that in the real fucking world. Okay? As property maintenance for my apartment complex, if I'm in the middle of a repair for a tenant, okay, and it's stressing me out, it's irritating me, it's pissing me off, okay, I can't walk away from the fucking repair because I'm getting stressed out. Okay? Because that's not benefiting my tenant any. Okay? I can't walk away from the repair just because I'm getting the least amount of stressed out from it. Okay? And there's people out there with more important jobs than that. What about police officers? Their jobs are 10 times more stressful than the job I have. And I know this because I used to be a military police officer in the Army. Okay? A police officer can't walk away and decompress from his job in the middle of a situation. What if he's dealing with a domestic abuse situation? Okay? If he's getting stressed out from it, he can't just walk away from it to, quote, reset himself. Okay? He can't. Because what's going to happen to that spouse if he walks away? Okay? You're not teaching our children the proper life skills early on in life anymore. And the problem is these, quote, so-called child experts who say, this is how you got to raise your child because this is how I learned how to do it in a textbook, because some psychologist who's never raised a child a day in their fucking life says this is the proper way to do it. Guess what, motherfuckers? There is no cookie cutter way to raise a child. Okay? There isn't. There is no one way fits all method of raising a child. There isn't. Okay? And you can't shelter your children from the real world. Okay? Now, I'm not saying, take your fucking 5-year-old and throw him into a full-on real-life scenario. I'm not saying that at all. So don't get me wrong, guys. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying gradually, as your children get older, gradually introduce them to more and more things that's going to happen to them in the real world. Okay? I'm talking about teaching your children responsibility. Start teaching your children at an early age responsibility, like fucking giving them chores to do. Okay, and if they don't do their chores, don't sit there and say, oh, well, it's okay. I know you're stressed out from school and that. So go ahead and go play on your Xbox or your PlayStation until you're ready to do your chores. No, fuck that shit. Teach your child responsibility. Okay? If they don't want to do their chores, then fuck, they don't get to go on their Xbox. They don't get to go on their PlayStation. They don't get to go on their phone or tablet or anything like that. And that's the other thing. Okay? Parents are now starting to stick their children in front of computer screens or video games or TV screens because it's easier. Now, I'll admit, I'm guilty of doing that myself at times. Okay? I am. I am 100% guilty of doing that myself from time to time. Okay? I'll sit there and I'll stick my kids in front of a computer or a game system just to get them out of my hair at times, and because I don't want to deal with the bullshit right then. Okay? I'm guilty of it too. Okay? But that's not the right thing to do. Okay? It isn't. Okay? And another thing I've noticed, parents are buying their children cell phones earlier and earlier and earlier. Okay? And you're not teaching the kids responsibility with this device. Okay? You're not. If the child breaks it, they go out and buy him another one. If they break that one, they go out and buy another one. Okay? I had a neighbor who bought her children 8 fucking cell phones in a month because her teenage daughter kept breaking them. She would drop them at school. She would drop them in practice. It would fall out of her pocket when she was getting into her friend's car. Something, okay? It would fall to the ground and it would break. And rather than teach her a lesson by not buying her another phone until she can afford to get it herself, she just went out and bought her a new phone. Okay? And the problem is because now the so-called child experts are now trying to say, we have to shelter our kids. No. Okay, because again, you're not teaching these kids responsibility. You're not teaching these kids basic responsibility early on in life. And if you don't teach them responsibility, then how the fuck are they going to react later on in life when they're adults? Because now they've grown up thinking mommy and daddy are going to shelter them forever. Okay? So nowadays, you've got 20, 30-year-old fucking kids living with their fucking parents because they're convinced that mommy and daddy are going to shelter them forever. Okay? My other problem with the way kids are being treated nowadays is they're saying we can't overwhelm our children with too much. Okay? So now, I don't know if this is how school system works in other states, but in my state, I sat there and I counted it on the school calendar. Our children have a total throughout the entire year, 35 to 40 something days off from school. Okay? And that's total throughout the whole year. Okay? That's not counting summer break. Because it's summer break. That's supposed to be the time off from school. Okay? That's supposed to be the time when kids can decompress from school and have a grand old time. It's summer. Okay? But now kids are getting a total of between 35 to 40 something days off from school for teacher meetings. Okay? Spring break, spring vacation, winter vacation, Christmas, fucking Thanksgiving break, fucking federal holidays. I mean, they're getting all sorts of days off from school because now we can't, it's detrimental to our children's mental health to overwhelm them with too much. Fuck you. Okay, I remember when I was in school, they taught our kid, if our teachers had meetings, They gave us a substitute teacher who forced us to watch some crappy movie for a fucking half hour. Okay? And if we acted up in class, guess what? In elementary school, we were put in timeout. In middle school, middle school and high school, we were given detention. Nowadays, you can't do that. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna cut this video short because I can go on for another fucking half hour about this shit. But anyway, y'all, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Let me know what y'all think. If y'all think if this is a benefit or a detriment to our children's, what's the word I'm looking for? Upbringing. Or education. There we go. That was the word I was looking for. Lost it for a second. And also drop a comment below what you guys think I should talk about in my next video. Well, again, me and the missus are working on doing another snack crate video. Just working on figuring out which country we want to do. And I will catch y'all next rant. Peace out.